All right, so in this video, we are going to be covering the various field health and crop health analytics, alerts, etc. So with that, there's a couple changes into AGMRI this year in relation to that. Now, something you will notice right off the bat is just that general field health alert. So this is going to be pretty standard, and this is going to be a direct reflection of ultimately how your field is currently performing at the date of each flight that goes through. One way you can verify this is if you just throw on that field only. Now remember this image right here with the field health, but if you throw on that field only and you go simply just to the NDVI values, you'll see that ultimately it's going to correlate almost exactly to what that field health map is showing. So in the bottom left hand corner, for example, where there's a lot more red, perhaps a lot more bare soil and or struggling crop, if you go ahead and throw in the field health, it's going to correlate exactly. So again, this is just a generated map that we're going to give you as an alert, and it's going to show you how your field is doing in the different areas of the field that are performing, from average to highest to low, etc. Now, with that, something we added this year is called the underperforming area alert. The reason we did that is we received a lot of feedback from last year and years prior where ultimately, our alerts were showing you guys areas of the field correctly that weren't performing as good, but ultimately, oftentimes, certain fields just have areas that are kind of problem childs or don't typically yield that high and or perform lower as a result of a variety of factors. But ultimately, the feedback was that, hey, while I appreciate this, I don't want to be ultimately alerted constantly about areas of my field that I already know aren't going to perform well and aren't currently performing well. So with this change, we took 4 years of satellite imagery using NDVI and ultimately began plotting points on your map to give you an indication of historically areas of your field that do trend at a certain level and where you're currently trending below that. So, for example, if I go ahead and I throw on the historical field health, you're going to notice that that purple polygon is all within an area that typically does trend and perform a lot higher than it currently is. So the reason we have that underperforming area is basically to help you guys make decisions and inform you that, a particular area of your field still has a lot more potential, and there's different decisions that obviously can be made as a result to try and get that back and ultimately yield higher in those zones. Now, of course, weather is going to be very dependent on that. And this year, for example, 2023, it's been more of a drought, a lot lower rain. So obviously that is going to be impactful. But with that 4 years of satellite imagery that we use to compile this data, you are going to get several years of different kind of weather and patterns to more or less get a solid average. That way you can compare and see what parts of your field are still performing under that threshold to, again, hopefully get some more out of it as the season continues and make, necessary decisions to drive up that yield in areas that otherwise would have yielded higher than they may be projecting at the current time. Now, with those alerts, again, you will always have them within the app or on the web. You'll have them on the very top, so you can certainly scroll through them. But if you would like to toggle them on and off, you can certainly do so from the layers icon. And again, you can toggle these on and off and compare the two. But to conclude, those are those different field health analytics alerts, as well as layers you can use to kind of toggle on and off. But with that, you can also always go in the menu on the side and again, use the historical field health, which again is that 4 years of satellite data that we use to populate that average, as well as your current field health. So hopefully this helps. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your Intel and Air representative, and then we can certainly help walk you through anything you might have pertaining. Thank you.